Hello and welcome to the Adecco Group's Self-Care and Being Resilient. My name is Erin Frost and I am the Learning and Development Business Partner for the Adecco Group here in UK and Ireland. I specialize in leadership and well-being training, and I'm really excited to bring you an aspect of what I have, which is a full-day resilience session broken into a key chapter, really self-care, in helping you really continue to develop your resilience during these tough times, but really focus on how you can take care of yourself. I am currently working from home with 2 children, so apologies for the background noise, if there is any. So when asked the question, do you take care of yourself? Most of us would answer yes. What kind of question is this? Of course I take care of myself. When asked in what ways do you take care of yourself, this is when it becomes a little bit more difficult. So today we're going to look at what is self-care, really. We hear this term thrown around a lot, but we really want to define what it is. I also want you to be able to recognize what is self-care and what isn't self-care. So we're going to look at our do's and don'ts for self-care, and then we're going to do a self-care audit. I want you to think about how you currently focus on activities that nourish you, that strengthen you, and those activities that might deplete you. So making sure and creating balance. So self-care, resilience is all about creating balance in your life and becoming aware of the things that you do and the impact that they have on you. So self-care is an activity that we do deliberately in order to take care of our mental, emotional, and physical health. Although it's a very simple concept in theory, it's something we very often overlook. Good self-care is really important to improve your moods, reduce anxiety, to help you bounce back from those stressful moments. Hopefully the stress that you manage is not prolonged, but it's those key points when you really have to push yourself. So how do you recover? How can self-care help you recover? How can it create pauses for you to recover? It's also key to a good relationship with oneself and others. According to a 2017 journal article titled Development of a Self-Care Assessment for Psychologists, self-care is defined as a multidimensional, multifaceted process of purposeful engagement in strategies that promote healthy functioning and enhanced well-being. So self-care is vital for building resilience towards those stressors in life that you can't eliminate. When you take steps to care for your mind and body, you're much better equipped to live your best life. And now in times where we're dealing with a global pandemic, these are really opportunities for us to start prioritizing ourselves and our mental health so that we can really grow from these situations and these stressors and be a support to those around us. So let's look at some self-care do's and don'ts. So knowing what self-care is not is just as important to understanding what self-care is. So as Agnes Wainman, the self-care activist, explained, self-care is something that refuels us rather than takes from us. So again, self-care is really about creating balance in our lives. So if something is taking energy from us, self-care is a way that we can then build back in that energy. So some self-care do's are accepting help. I think that a lot of us might struggle to ask for help, but actually it's a sign of strength. So to accept help from others, scheduling time for exercise, spending time with friends, creating healthy boundaries with needy family, friends, or coworkers, and getting enough rest and relaxation. So these might seem very obvious, but actually it's about taking the right steps and making sure you prioritize them. So accepting help is one great aspect, but then you have the other side of the spectrum is when you're trying to impress others by overextending yourself. So self-care in this regard, this would not be considered self-care. This is when you are not creating balance, but you're overextending yourself. Pushing yourself past your limits in the name of appearance. Going out all the time at the expense of other things that are important to you. Retreating from positive relationships and isolating yourself. And zoning out in front of reality TV all night and sleeping late. So that's just an example, but So these activities that we can see on the right are not opportunities where we're replenishing ourselves. These are actually draining energy from us. And that's what I want us to think about as we go into our self-care audit, is what drains us and what replenishes us. So what are activities in which we can take care of our mental well-being, our physical well-being, and how can we prioritize those and balance them against those activities that deplete our energy. So here is our self-care audit. And this is actually something I learned when I had quite a serious mental health issues, and after suffering from postnatal depression, I was put into a mental hospital, and one of the first things I was told is that if the mother goes down, everybody goes down. So I had to prioritize my self-care, which was something I was not doing. And the lovely doctor that helped me get better actually drew a car battery and said to me, I want you to write down all the activities that drain you, that take energy, and then I want you to write down all the activities that replenish you. And he said, this is your self-care, all the activities that replenish you. Now at the time I had not prioritized them, but now I make a point of making sure that I always prioritize my self-care. So I want us to do this audit together, and I'm going to give you an example. And then of course, at the end of the session, I urge you to go and find a piece of paper, draw a battery, or draw a minus sign and a plus sign, and just look at how you can start to create and prioritize self-care in your life. So things that deplete my energies are managing working with kids at home. That right now is a real challenge. And I have to say, it feels like I'm pulled in all directions. I never really have any downtime, it feels, when you work from home. Talking to family every day, so being strong for everyone else. Making sure that you have that energy to give to other people, to reassure them when they're scared or they're fearful. And sometimes they'll look to me to be strong. So that can be difficult at times when I have not very much to give after looking after my kids all day and working at home. Keeping the house clean, I've never been good at that. That takes a lot of energy. Self-isolation, I find this very difficult. I hate not being able to go out. I really find it difficult emotionally to be stuck indoors and to not have the freedom of movement. Even though I know it's for the right reasons, I still struggle. So the things that really give me energy, or really I prioritize as part of my self-care, is number one, exercise, reading. So I've always loved reading. It's one of my favorite activities. So reading by myself in a quiet area. Meditation, so I do daily meditation, and we also do now morning meditations at work. So that's been lovely. So that's really about just finding, again, a quiet moment, some time to reflect and to think about yourself. And just having time to myself. To be honest, any activity that involves a silent room where I'm by myself, I find can be very healing. And a bath, or doing something else. It could even be enjoying a glass of wine outside, or just taking a leisurely stroll. Anything that you feel that makes you feel that you're really doing something that prioritizes your needs and your wants, but also something that nourishes you mentally and physically. So I hope that has given you an insight into what self-care is and some first steps. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. My name is Erin Frost for the Adecco Group, UK and I. But this is really a good starting point for you to start to think about and prioritize. Use this opportunity. I know I say self-isolation is difficult, but it's really finding purpose in these times. And self-care can be one of your purposes. It could be time to say, actually, I need to start prioritizing my mental and physical well-being. And self-care is a really important step in that journey. So I wish you all a fantastic week. And I look forward to creating more webinars and posts to support you in this difficult time. Take care and thank you very much.